The warning signs. The Galactic Confederation's Central Command Hub on Proxima Centauri VI bustled with activity. Thousands of species worked in harmony, managing the affairs of over 10,000 worlds spread across 3 spiral arms of the Milky Way. For 20,000 years, the Confederation had expanded, bringing order and technological advancement to every corner they reached. High Commander Tarek Dahl stood before the massive holographic display, watching as countless ships moved like stars across the galaxy map. As leader of the Confederation's Exploration Division, he had overseen first contact with hundreds of species. Most joined willingly, eager for the prosperity and protection the Confederation offered. "High Commander, we've detected something unusual in the archives," said Senior Analyst Jorah Myth, a slender Arcturian with iridescent skin that rippled with her emotions. Currently, it displayed patterns of concern, deep blues and purples swirling across her face. "Unusual how?" Dahl turned his 4 eyes toward her, his exoskeleton creaking slightly as he moved. "We've been cataloging records from the Zilari civilization, the ones who went extinct about 3,000 years ago. We found repeated warnings about a world they called Terran 3. After cross-referencing astronomical data, we've confirmed it's the same planet we designated as Earth." Dahl's eye membranes fluttered in surprise. Earth was an anomaly in Confederation records, a life-bearing world in the habitable zone that had been deliberately left uncontacted. "What kind of warnings?" he asked. Jorah projected a translated text onto the nearest screen. The ancient Zilari script had been converted to the Confederation's standard language. "To all who receive this message, the blue world of System Sol 3, called Earth by its inhabitants, must remain isolated. Our greatest mistake was attempting to study them. Do not repeat our error. For the safety of the galaxy, avoid Earth." Dahl's carapace stiffened. One civilization's warning could be explained away as superstition or a bad first contact. "But you said warnings, plural." Jorah nodded, her skin darkening. "That's where it gets concerning. We found similar warnings from 7 different extinct civilizations: the Krell, the Vosh Collective, the Medusan Unity, all advanced societies that mysteriously disappeared after leaving warnings about Earth." 7 civilizations. Dahl's voice carried disbelief. "Over what time period?" "The oldest warning dates back nearly 50,000 years. The most recent was from the Zilari, 3,000 years ago. Each warning becomes more desperate than the last." Commander Elara Voss had been listening silently from the corner of the room. As the Confederation's foremost cynoanthropologist and a veteran of dozens of first contact missions, her opinion was highly valued. Unlike most Confederation species, she came from a world with similar gravity and atmospheric conditions to Earth, making her uniquely suited for any mission there. "This can't be coincidence," she said, stepping forward. Her tall, lithe form moved with practiced grace, developed from years of adapting to different planetary environments. 7 advanced civilizations, all warning about the same planet, spanning 50,000 years. "There must be something unique about humans, or dangerous," added Dahl. "What do we know about Earth currently?" Jorah brought up another display. "Very little recent data. We've maintained the no-contact designation established 15,000 years ago. Our long-range scans show they've developed primitive spacefaring technology, limited to their own solar system. They appear to be in early development stages compared to Confederation standards." Voss studied the images of Earth's cities, the orbital stations, the vessels traveling between Earth and its colony on Mars. "Primitive is relative. Their development curve appears steep over just the past century. Could these humans have destroyed 7 civilizations?" Dahl wondered aloud. "They've barely left their system. The warnings don't specifically claim the humans destroyed anyone," Voss pointed out. "Just that contact should be avoided. There could be other explanations." Dahl paced the command floor, his exoskeletal feet clicking rhythmically. Finally, he stopped. "We need more information. The Confederation Council won't approve a full diplomatic mission based on ancient warnings, but they might sanction a reconnaissance operation. I volunteer, Voss said immediately. My physiology is compatible with Earth environments, and I've successfully led more first contact assessments than anyone else in the division. Dell considered this. Not alone. We'll send the Starseeker, our most advanced stealth vessel. You'll lead a small team. Observe only. No contact. 3 weeks later, Commander Voss stood on the bridge of the Starseeker as it emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. The ship's advanced cloaking technology rendered it invisible to conventional detection methods, and its hull absorbed or redirected any scanning beams that might hit it. Status report, Voss ordered, watching the view screen as the distant yellow sun came into view. All systems nominal, Commander, reported Lieutenant Krex, the ship's Palladian navigator. His chitinous hands moved across the controls with practiced precision. We've emerged exactly where planned, behind the gas giant they call Jupiter. Our presence should be masked by its electromagnetic field. Perfect. Maintain stealth protocols and set course for Earth. Approach slowly. I want comprehensive scans at every stage. As the Starseeker glided silently through the solar system, Voss studied the data flowing in. Earth's Mars colony appeared to be thriving despite the harsh environment. Orbital habitats circled both worlds, along with numerous satellites and small vessels moving between them. Their technology is more advanced than our records indicated, noted Science Officer Talia Nix, a Centaurian whose crystalline body structure refracted light in hypnotic patterns. These readings suggest their energy production methods are highly efficient. Update the development assessment, Voss ordered, and continue scanning for defensive capabilities. When they reached Earth orbit, the crew was puzzled. While cities bustled on the surface and ships moved between orbital stations, they detected no significant military presence, no warships, no planetary defense systems, nothing that could explain the warnings. This doesn't make sense, Voss murmured, looking at the peaceful blue world below. What could possibly make 7 advanced civilizations fear this planet? Commander, called Krex suddenly, I'm detecting unusual energy patterns beneath the oceanic crust. Voss moved to his station. Show me. The display revealed massive energy signatures deep beneath Earth's oceans, far larger than anything visible on the surface. What are we looking at? Voss asked, perplexed. Unknown, replied Talia, joining them. But these readings suggest technology far more advanced than anything we've observed on the surface. It appears to form a global network. A hidden infrastructure. Voss wondered. Why would they? Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. We're being scanned, Krex announced, mandibles clicking in agitation. Something's penetrating our cloaking field. Impossible, Talia said. Our stealth technology is undetectable by their level of development. Evasive maneuvers, Voss ordered calmly. Prepare to jump to hyperspace. Before they could act, every system on the Starseeker went dark simultaneously. Emergency lights flickered on, casting an eerie red glow across the bridge. All systems are failing, reported the engineering officer. Something's draining our power. I can't stop it. Voss felt a strange sensation, as if someone was observing them, not through technology, but somehow directly. A presence that saw through metal and shields. Get us out of here, she commanded. Emergency protocols. Now. The backup systems engaged briefly, enough to turn the ship away from Earth. But before they could accelerate, a blinding flash of light enveloped the vessel. Voss felt her consciousness stretching, expanding beyond the confines of the ship, as if something was reading them. Her last coherent thought before darkness claimed her was that the warnings had been correct all along. At Confederation headquarters, High Commander Dal received the emergency beacon from the Starseeker. A single, abbreviated message. Earth not primitive. Hidden technology. They see us. Then silence. For 3 days, he waited for further communication. Nothing came. The Starseeker and its crew had vanished without a trace. Dal stood before the Confederation Council, 13 representatives from the oldest member species of their alliance. Their faces showed varying degrees of concern as he presented the findings and the fate of the Starseeker. "The warnings were clear," said Councillor Vex of the Androndan Collective. "We should have heeded them. 7 civilizations didn't disappear because of superstition," added another councillor. "Perhaps we should maintain the isolation protocol indefinitely." Dal's exoskeleton vibrated with tension. "Commander Voss and her crew may still be alive. We cannot abandon them." "What do you propose?" asked the council leader, an ancient being whose species had founded the Confederation millennia ago. "A larger expedition," Dal replied firmly. "Not just a scout ship, a diplomatic fleet with defensive capabilities. Enough to demand answers and retrieve our people if they still live." The council chambers erupted in debate. Some argued for caution, others for aggressive response. In the end, the vote was narrowly in favor of Dal's proposal. 3 months later, the most formidable diplomatic fleet in Confederation history assembled near the jump point to Earth's solar system. 20 ships, ranging from diplomatic vessels to advanced warships, prepared to make contact with the mysterious humans who had taken their comrades. High Commander Dal stood on the bridge of the flagship Celestial Authority, watching as final preparations were made. "All ships report ready, High Commander," announced the communications officer. Dal gazed at the stars, wondering what they would find at Earth, and whether the 7 extinct civilizations had tried exactly what they were about to attempt. "Begin the jump sequence," he ordered. "Let's find out what humanity is hiding." As the fleet disappeared into hyperspace, Dal couldn't shake the feeling that they were heading towards something that would forever change the Galactic Confederation, for better or worse. Humanity unbound. The Confederation fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, their massive engines powering down as momentum carried them forward. From the command bridge of the flagship Celestial Authority, High Commander Dal had observed the distant yellow star around which Earth orbited. "Maintain formation," Dal ordered. "Begin passive scans of the system." The fleet of 20 ships moved in perfect synchronization, their hulls gleaming under the distant sunlight. They represented the pinnacle of Confederation technology: living metal that could repair itself, quantum communication systems that operated instantaneously across vast distances, and weapons that could reduce planets to molten slag if necessary. "Sir, we're detecting unusual activity near the 4th planet," reported the sensor operator. Dal moved to examine the readings. "Magnify and enhance." The main view screen shifted to display Mars, Earth's rusty neighbor. To Dal's surprise, the planet's surface showed clear signs of extensive terraforming. Green patches spreading across what should have been barren red soil. Massive atmospheric processors dotted the landscape, and sprawling cities connected by high-speed transport tubes crisscrossed the surface. "Their terraforming technology is remarkably efficient," noted Science Director Krell, an avian being whose race had evolved on a low-gravity moon. "According to our data, they only established their first Martian colony 80 years ago. This level of terraforming should take centuries." "Commander," interrupted the communications officer, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth." Dal's exoskeleton tensed. "They've detected us already. We haven't even entered the inner system. The message appears to be directed specifically at us. It's using our own encryption protocols." A chill ran through Dal's body. How was that possible? Those protocols were established after the Starseeker disappeared. No one had an answer. "Put it through," Dal ordered. The view screen shifted to display a human face, a female with dark skin and striking green eyes that seemed to glow with an inner light. When she spoke, her voice was perfectly translated. "Greetings, High Commander Tarek Dal of the Galactic Confederation. I am Director Amara Chen of Earth's Unified Defense Initiative. We've been expecting you." Dal's 4 eyes blinked in synchronization. "You know who I am." "We know everything about your Confederation, Commander. Just as we knew about the Zilari, the Krell, and all the others who came before you." Her expression remained neutral. "Your scout ship, the Starseeker, violated our territorial boundaries. However, its crew is unharmed." Relief flooded through Dal. "We want our people returned immediately." "That can be arranged," Chen replied. "But first, perhaps we should discuss why you've brought a battle fleet to our doorstep despite the warnings you discovered." "How do you?" Dal began, then stopped himself. "We came to retrieve our people, and to understand why 7 advanced civilizations warned others to avoid your world." Chen's expression softened slightly. "A reasonable request. We invite you and 3 representatives to Earth for direct talks. Your commander Voss has expressed interest in facilitating the meeting." Dal hesitated. Everything about this situation defied standard protocols. The humans knew too much, responded too quickly, and seemed completely unconcerned by the Confederation fleet that could devastate their world. "You have my word that no harm will come to you or your representatives," Chen added. "Consider this the first step toward mutual understanding." After consulting with his officers, Dal agreed to the meeting. 12 hours later, a small delegation shuttle departed from the Celestial Authority, carrying Dal and 3 senior officers toward Earth. As they descended through Earth's atmosphere, Dal was struck by the beauty of the blue planet. Gleaming cities sprawled across continents, yet vast areas remained undeveloped. Forests, mountains, and oceans appeared pristine, unlike most developed worlds in the Confederation, where urbanization eventually consumed every habitable surface. Their shuttle was escorted by sleek aircraft that moved with impossible agility, sometimes seeming to blink out of existence before reappearing elsewhere. When they finally landed at a facility outside a city identified as New Geneva, Dal was surprised to see Commander Ilara Voss waiting for them, appearing completely unarmed. "Commander Voss," Dal greeted her cautiously. "Are you well?" Voss nodded, but there was something different in her eyes, a depth that hadn't been there before. "I am, High Commander. The humans have treated us with surprising hospitality, considering we entered their space unannounced." "They disabled your ship and took you captive," Dal pointed out. "Yes," Voss acknowledged, "but with good reason, as you'll soon understand." They were led into a vast circular chamber where Director Chen waited alongside a diverse group of humans. The walls seemed to be made of flowing liquid metal, constantly shifting in patterns that Dal found both beautiful and disorienting. "Welcome to Earth, High Commander," Chen greeted them. "We appreciate your willingness to meet directly." "You've left us little choice," Dal replied. "You have our people, and you somehow know our protocols, our language, and even our names." Chen gestured for them to sit at a large round table. "That's a good place to begin our explanation. High Commander, what do you know about quantum entanglement on a biological level?" The question caught Dal off guard. "It's theoretically possible, but has never been successfully implemented in any known species." "That's where humans differ," said another human, introducing himself as Dr. Marcus Way. "Approximately 50,000 years ago, our species underwent a unique evolutionary development. Our consciousness became quantum entangled with the universe itself." Dal's scientific officer, a Rigelian mathematician, leaned forward with interest. "That's not possible. The brain is too warm, too wet for quantum effects to propagate." "For most species, yes," Way agreed. "But human neurology developed differently. We don't fully understand how it began. Perhaps exposure to unique radiation patterns, perhaps deliberate engineering by some precursor species. But the result is that human consciousness operates partly outside conventional spacetime." "What does this mean, practically speaking?" Dal asked, struggling to understand. Commander Voss spoke up. "It means they can perceive information without direct sensory input, High Commander. They knew we were coming because they could sense our intentions across light years. They knew our language because once they encountered our minds, they could extract the information directly." "You're describing telepathy," said Dal skeptically. "Not exactly," Chen corrected. "True telepathy would involve broadcasting thoughts. What humans do is more like listening to the quantum whispers of the universe. Information exists as patterns in the underlying fabric of reality, and we've evolved to perceive those patterns. Dal's mind raced with the implications, the warnings from the extinct civilizations. Chen nodded solemnly. The first species to discover Earth, the ones you called the Vosh Collective, came as conquerors 50,000 years ago. They encountered primitive humans who they believed would be easy to subjugate. What they didn't understand was that even at our technological infancy, our consciousness was already evolved. What happened to them? Dal asked, though he suspected the answer. We defended ourselves, Chen said simply. Not through weapons. We had none that could match theirs. But through our minds. Our ancestors could perceive the operational patterns of their technology and disable it. They could understand alien biology instantly and affect it from within. The Vosh panicked, fled, and warned others to stay away. Dr. Wei continued the explanation. But curiosity is universal. Other species came despite the warnings, each believing they understood what they were facing. Some came peacefully, others with conquest in mind. All underestimated what contact with human consciousness would mean. Did you destroy them? Dal asked directly. No, Chen answered firmly. We never sought their extinction, but contact with human consciousness is transformative. When our minds touch others deeply, it changes them. Some species couldn't handle the expansion of awareness. Their civilizations fragmented as individuals awakened to new perceptions that their societies couldn't accommodate. Commander Voss stepped forward. I've experienced it myself, High Commander. The humans didn't harm us. They showed us something, a glimpse of how they perceive reality. Dal studied his officer carefully. And that's why you seem different. Yes, Voss admitted. I can't explain it adequately, but I understand now why Earth isolated itself. Not out of fear or hostility, but because forced contact between their consciousness and unprepared minds can be devastating. A new human entered the chamber, elderly, with silver hair and eyes that seemed to contain galaxies. We decided long ago to develop on our own path, he said in a resonant voice. I am Dr. James Okoye, Chief Archiver of Human History. We withdrew from galactic affairs after the Zilari incident, where an entire civilization collapsed after attempting to study our consciousness directly. So you built your technology, hidden beneath your oceans, Dal surmised. Yes, confirmed Chen. Our surface development appears modest by Confederation standards because most of our advancement has been focused inward, enhancing our natural abilities and building technology that works harmoniously with consciousness rather than separate from it. The network your ship detected, Wei explained, is not a weapon system. It's a planetary consciousness amplifier, a way for billions of human minds to remain connected while also dampening our natural quantum reach to prevent accidental interference with other species. Dal sat silently, absorbing the implications. Humans weren't dangerous because of aggression or technological superiority. They were dangerous because their very consciousness operated on principles that could unintentionally destabilize other civilizations. What happens now? Dal finally asked. The Confederation consists of thousands of worlds, billions of beings. If what you say is true, contact with your species could pose an existential risk. Or an opportunity, Voss suggested. High Commander, what I experienced wasn't destruction, it was expansion. Humans don't want to harm other species. They'd been waiting for others to evolve to a point where contact wouldn't be catastrophic. Director Chen nodded. We believe the Confederation has reached that threshold. Your societal structures are flexible enough, your philosophical frameworks advanced enough to withstand the initial shock of contact with human consciousness. We propose a gradual integration, Dr. Okoye added. Controlled contact, carefully monitored. A new kind of diplomatic relationship where both sides acknowledge the unique challenges but also the unprecedented opportunities. To demonstrate their capabilities, the humans activated the liquid metal walls of the chamber. Suddenly, Dal found himself standing among stars. perceiving the galaxy not as a collection of light points, but as an interconnected web of consciousness. He could sense the quantum threads binding all matter, all life, a perspective that no telescope or sensor could ever provide. "This is how you see reality," Dal whispered, awestruck. "A simplified version," Chen replied, "filtered to be comprehensible to your neural structure." When the demonstration ended, Dal understood why the ancient civilizations had warned others away from Earth. It wasn't fear of human aggression. It was fear of what contact with human consciousness would mean for unprepared minds and rigid societies. The negotiations continued for days. Eventually, an unprecedented agreement was reached. Earth would join the Confederation not as a subject world, but as a special advisory member. Human representatives would work with specially prepared Confederation diplomats, gradually introducing their perspective while developing protocols to prevent unintended consequences. Commander Voss volunteered to lead the Confederation's Human Understanding Initiative, a new division dedicated to preparing other species for expanded consciousness. As the Confederation fleet prepared to depart Earth orbit, High Commander Dal stood with Director Chen on the observation deck of the Celestial Authority. "Your species hid its true nature for 50,000 years, Dal remarked. "Was isolation difficult for beings who can perceive the universe as you do?" Chen looked out at the stars, her expression contemplative. "Necessary isolation is never easy, Commander. But we knew this day would come. The universe tends toward connection, toward awareness. We just had to wait for the right moment. And the right civilization." "And now?" Dal asked. "Now," Chen smiled, "we take our place in the galaxy not as conquerors or subjects, but as teachers and students simultaneously. The age of isolation is over. The age of conscious expansion begins." As the Confederation fleet jumped to hyperspace, carrying news of humanity's true nature back to 10,000 worlds, the ancient warnings took on new meaning. They had not been warnings of danger, but cautions against premature revelation, signposts marking the path to a transformation that would reshape galactic civilization forever. Earth had never been a threat to be feared. It had been a catalyst waiting for the right moment to awaken the galaxy to new possibilities that stretched beyond the stars themselves, into the very fabric of consciousness that underlay all existence.